2 minutes remaining of your warm-up. 2 minutes remain of your warm-up. PWBA.com is the exclusive live streaming home of the PWBA Tour. Please do not live stream from your personal devices. All right, athletes, your arrows are up. You have a full set of pins. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a great big send-off for round 2, the PWBA Tucson Open. Good luck, ladies.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning if you're in Australia. Welcome to Golden Pin Lanes here in Tucson, Arizona, the PWBA Tucson Open. Second round of qualifying. I'm Craig Ellett along with Emil Williams Jr. and Brant Houghton in the chat. We're going to bring you all the coverage of the second 8-game block here in Tucson to find out who is going to qualify and have a chance to take home this title tomorrow. Quick rundown of the standings after this morning's block. Caitlin Simpson plus 250, 278, 222, 236, her last three to vault up to that lead and hang on to it. She stays 23 pins ahead of, or 17 pins, depending on how you like to do math. 17 pins ahead of Josie Barnes. Liz Culkin in third. Brianna Cote with a 289 in game 5 here on Bowl TV's feature pair is in fourth. Kelly Kulik in fifth. Julia Bond, Missy Parkin, Erin McCarthy, Danielle McEwen, and Lily Robles round out the top 10. The important number, though, after this second 8-game block, your 16-game total, you need to be in that top 32 to make it into tomorrow. Right now, that number is plus 30. Jackie Evans, and just 3 pins ahead of her in 31st, Liz Johnson. So PWBA.com, you can see all the scores and your favorite players. And we have 5 different cameras for you to watch today, so 10 different pairs of coverage. That's a lot of bowlers and a lot of bowling that you get to watch right here on Bowl TV. Live from Tucson. Hey, Omar Arnett back in Houston. How the heck are you? Tony, Ann, Deborah, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to Daryl in Australia. Game 1 of 8 here, and to the left of your screen, we have Debbie Ayers, Sandra Gongora, Josie Barnes, Tracy Ball. On the right side of your screen, Shannon O'Keefe, Nina Flack, Jennifer Dovers, and Elisa Hildenin from Finland. Mike Curtis, you have to keep us updated on the score of that basketball game because we're watching bowling. Sorry, NBA. Got no time for you right now. Of course, Senior Masters coverage also on Bowl TV tonight from Las Vegas. So if you don't get your fix of bowling here on the live stream tonight, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think we can help you if this doesn't quench your thirst, feed your hunger. Scoring pace started out a little low earlier and then really picked up. Games 4, 5, 6, 7. Had a lot of big games in the middle and end of that block. But, you know, it usually happens. Players come in the second round and start a little bit farther left, so I have to see how that plays out. I wasn't watching too much in practice if that's what they were doing, but this pattern, you got to stay right. A nice 2-10 conversion. Right there for Dovers. And I mentioned you need to be playing that outside line, and there's not a lot of room for mistake. You need to be playing like, you know, 2-board, and that's not something that people have been doing a lot as of late. But these players adjusted early, and boy, they started knocking down some pins. Firming up the boards early. You can shape it just a little bit later in the block, but not right now. Nice spare for Debbie Ayers. Round of 32 starts at 9 a.m. local time right here tomorrow, noon Eastern. Cut to the top 12 at 2 and 5:30 p.m. local time tomorrow. Our top 4 stepladder finals. All right here live on Bowl TV. For your viewing pleasure. All right, everybody watching, who's your favorite? Who you rooting for? Make your picks. We're going to have as Emil said earlier, we haven't had anybody make 2 shows yet this year. So will that happen? Will we get a repeat champion? Well, no, because Shayna Ung's not here, so we're not going to go back to back. Can Brianna Cote win one for the home crowd here? How about Hall of Famer Liz Johnson or Kelly Kulik? Who y'all picking? There's a Kelly Kulik pick. Danielle McEwen. It could be Dan McClellan, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Shannon picks. Missy bowled great last week. Just couldn't quite finish it off. Yeah, Shayna Ung won up in Roner Park at double-decker lanes. Christy Hoffmeister must be a Michigan fan, picking one of the sisters there, Jordan or Haley. Go blue. lot of splits on 15 and 16. That's 6 splits so far. And a valiant effort at that 2-4-8-10, but unfortunately, no slash. Josie Barnes looking for her first strike on lane 16. That looks too easy when you do it like that, Josie. Round 1 leader. Caitlin Simpson starts out double 7 spare strike. Aaron Smith, I'm rooting for Emil to have a great broadcast as well, no question. And you. Good luck in Vegas. Wasn't fair. 2-7-8 in the 2-8 surrounded the 7 pin, but nothing knocked it over. You should give it to her. Missy Parkin is on 19 and 20 right now, so you can watch her the next this game and the next game if you go to our alternate coverage, clicking those tabs, but don't go too far. This is our feature pair right here. For you Danielle McEwen fans or DMAC, we'll get Danielle in game 2 as all the players just move one pair to their right. And the dose of Sandra Gongora and her foursome. You look off to the right of your screen, the very rare sighting there. The 1578, or excuse me, the 1589. 1589. I'd say throw a strike ball. I might have to go a little high. High flush to make that conversion. And that's a nice trick shot. Pick the 189 off the 1589. Wow. Ponder that one for a minute. All right, back to the action in front of us. Sandra Gongora. So Mexico. She was a little high. All right, Debbie Ayers. There you go. Rough start, and now a little four-bagger. Well, Tony, PWBA.com, results tab, and you can find all of your favorite players. But I'll look, round one, let's see. Shannon O'Keefe, 11th, plus 160. Pretty solid block, low game 211. few strings of strikes here towards the end of game one. And after taking care of the rest of his media duties and solving world peace, Emil Williams Jr. is back with us. Welcome, Emil.
Well, that world peace is a tough one, man. There's a lot of things happening in the world today.
He did it in 9 frames. It's not bad.
We do have some strings of strikes, but you know, this is the fresh. And we obviously saw some high scores on the fresh this morning. And starting to see that a little bit here to begin. It's out there on the fresh. You got to go get it. It is out there for you. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, Jordan Richard opened 277 game one this morning. Does it feel warmer in here to you this afternoon?
I actually thought it was warmer this morning.
All right. Well, there goes that theory.
Because most people who either know or see me, I'm always wearing some kind of jacket or pullover.
Yeah, and you worked this morning.
And I took that off in about game 2 or 3 this morning.
Oh, you're working too hard.
Probably. But I've had it off ever since. So I'm actually quite comfortable. I'm generally cold in the bowling center. As we make our way into round number 2. Ooh. I felt that one from back here.
With authority.
That was powerful from Sandra G. But as we get through it, we'll talk more about the lane condition. A few notes to share from some conversations prior to or as practice was underway. Some new things happening this week.
Really?
Yeah. There's a new oil that has never been used.
I bet I know what that is.
You probably do.
Start with the T?
It does. It's on the graph.
I didn't see the graph, but I saw it. I saw a graph from somewhere else, and I said I'd never heard of that oil before.
Yeah, it was. It could have been used last week. That's actually one of the other things where it's potential. This week it's used, and it is supposed to. Or talking to Nathan, I should say Nathan Bohr. It's actually should help blend or remain blended. Speaking of the lane condition, so it's you should see too much hook on the back, even with transition. So sometimes you get clipped and you over under and all kinds of things. This should actually not do that, or at least help not do it, I should say. Which would make a lot of sense based on what we saw in round 1. Even in later blocks or later games, I should say.
Nobody really got left.
Yeah. Well, we got some good games here. 252, 243, 197, 227. Wow, what nice starts on 17 and 18. One of those was Nina Flack.
Stephanie Johnson starts out 257.
So let's see, two 250s that we know of, a 240. I'm just going to guess that there are at least 5 games of 230 or more.
I agree, wholeheartedly.
And that's probably low.
It's a heck of a bailout from Debbie Ayers here on 15 and 16, the way she started. To bail out a 200 game, that could have been a whole lot less than that.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of 200 games when you go 6-2 gutter spare 7-2.
No. So nice save.
2 splits and a gutter spare. And 209 for her efforts. I'll take that.
Yeah, if we'd ask her in frame 4, I'll give you 180. She would take it. But you know what? You got 209. Bonus. Nice.
And a 6 spared in its 10th frame.
Yeah.
It's impressive stuff. Debbie's been doing some good stuff here in 2019. Making the step ladder to Senior Queens, finishing 5th. Also made match play at the Queens event in Wichita in May. She too, a multi-time Hall of Famer in her native San Diego and SoCal. Game 2 underway here on Bowl TV. The PWBA Tucson Open. Emil Williams Jr., Craig Elliott here with you. And folks, be the first to experience Hyper Bowling, bowling's newest game from Cubica AMF, where the lighted bumpers are actually part of the game. Hit the bumpers, then hit the pins. Hyper Bowling plays like a physical video game on a bowling lane. Now everyone can play and win because every shot counts every time. Learn more at hyperbowling.com. Saw a lot of that from Danielle McEwen, who has joined us on 15 and 16. McEwen and Mandy Edom, Nachimi Itakura, and Jacqueline Evans over on 15 and 16. Debbie Ayers, Sandra Gungor, Tracy Ball, and Josie Barnes on 17 and 18.
Yeah, Jackie Evans was the number after that morning block. Get the 9-game updates here shortly and see how that top 32 shuffled around. Hey, man, what do you know about Jackie Evans? It's a familiar name to me, but I don't know a lot about her. Team USA, correct, at one point?
Junior team.
Junior team.
If my memory serves correctly, she won the yes, absolutely. She won junior gold.
That's it.
She won the U20. And actually, there's another player who the year has kind of left me, but I think 2000. What year is this? 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
It is 2019 right now. I knew the name was very familiar. I just couldn't quite remember why.
She also bowled collegiately at Monmouth and then Lawrence Tech.
Oh, okay. A Michigan school. Lawrence Tech. My grandpa went to school at Lawrence Tech.
How about that?
Just a totally obscure, meaningless reference, but
well, I mean, it counts.
But it's a fact.
It counts.
Yeah. Actually, Lawrence Tech, didn't they finish the top 3 this year in the men's?
They finished second.
Yeah.
Lost to Weber. Actually, there was some college bowling on the other day on CBS Sports Network, so the re-airs ongoing. Should have checked those out, as well as PWBA re-airs. First one on our schedule this year was the USBC Queens. Yeah, 2016 for Jackie Evans in regards to Junior Gold Championship. Started at Lawrence Tech, went to Monmouth. Very smart young lady from Acton, Massachusetts. And I say that because everyone is certainly is smart, but if you take a look at what she's studying right now, she is a PhD student. Also, lab teaching assistant right now at the University of Connecticut.
Oh, good for her.
In pharmaceutical sciences. Guess what her research is based on? It's a rhetorical question because you'll never guess it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Freeze drying.
Really?
Yep. It's part of not a PharmD program, but she'll be moving on to a company that researches and looking for additional or new medicine for approval. That's what she is currently working on. So that young lady could potentially approve something that.
Well, at my age, I need more people like Jackie.
She could be helping cure a lot of stuff.
Yes.
That's really incredible when you think about it. Oh, Thought we had one there. Getting through 3. Appreciate everyone tuning in the chat. Jonathan, Tony, I saw Michelle a little bit earlier. Jennifer, back with us. Don, Brian. Melissa. Jeff. Ann, Christy, Bonnie, Mike, Cindy. Oh man, Omar checking in. If he's still around.
Yeah, I got scores.
My man, hit me with it.
Caitlin Simpson, 200, stellar leader, plus 250. Josie Barnes in second. Brianna Cote jumps to third. Kelly Kulik, fourth. Shannon O'Keefe, Missy Parkin, Danielle McEwen, Liz Culkin, Sandra Anderson, and Erin McCarthy. That's a pretty stout top 10 right there. 11th, Lily Robles. Eliza Hildunen from Finland in 12th. And let's scroll on down. Who else we have in the top 32? Stephanie Johnson with that 257 is in 17th. Liz Johnson, 221, is in 26th. And Lauren Pate is now the number 140 the first game for Lauren. She's at plus 23. It just stays in that top 32. Debbie Ayers, who is right here in front of us now, 4 pins out in 33rd. So the highest we've seen that cut number so far today is plus 30. It dropped 7 pins after that first game. Verity Crawley, 224 and 36, that plus 9. She had that 298 in game 7 earlier today.
Just a quick not a reminder, but not an update, but something to make you aware of. There may or may not be someone entering your camera view as they potentially work on turning on a few fans, which theoretically directly in our sight. And there it is.
That would be great. I could use that fan right now.
There it is right there.
Oh, the fan's broke. Kind of disappointed now.
Well,
I'll get over it.
what was the cut number again, Craig?
Plus 23.
Plus 23.
Josie Barnes, front 4, and a 7 count.
Over 2 on that fan.
My faith is dwindling. Jackie Evans up. Oh, you see, just kept creeping and creeping and goes a little high. T-Mac looking for a double turkey.
All right, one more time. Well, Matthew's trying.
Thank you, Matthew. We appreciate the effort.
So,
Underground Gora, there's some effort. Apparently we need to watch her more because every time we look up, she strikes. And the times we're not watching, she didn't. So, is that our fault?
I was going to say, is it really, should we?
I don't know. Can't show favoritism. I'll watch her next shot just to see. Let's test that theory. Josie Barnes. Ooh, scatter in the pins.
Nicely done. We watched.
We did, yeah. I think we're proving that theory.
Excellent shot there for Mandy. And one of our local players, Cave Creek, Arizona. That is not directly, of course, nearby in Tucson. It is closer to Phoenix. About 2 hours. From where we are here down on I-10 West. Interesting, if you watch the last 2 shots on the right lane on lane 16, saw the Mandy Eatum shot, and then you just saw Danielle McEwen. 2 players playing a very similar portion of the lane, but with different bowling balls certainly, and you can see the subtle differences in their game as well. But Mandy's ball speed just a touch slower, actually using something that it looks like it gets into a roll pretty early. Okay, I get a good match on rev rate, ball speed, where Danielle a little bit more firmer with her shot and maybe a border to right, but the same result.
A little more up the back maybe for Danielle. Yeah. But 10 in the pit. It's the name of the game, knock them down.
That looks good.
Danielle on 7. That was pretty good.
Push. And just a 10-pin there for Barnes.
Well, they got this pair figured out, Emil.
Don't they? Nichimi, one of Japan's best here on the PWBA Tour, looking pretty solid, obviously, so far here. Again, there are some pins to obtain on the fresh. My theory of lanes continuously getting tougher as the tournament goes on, I'm not so sure. Especially in light of my newfound information in regards to the lane condition, and at least specifically the lane conditioner.
We'll let this one slide.
Hey, it's okay to be wrong.
You weren't given all the information to make a an informed decision.
But that's why I do what I do, to ask questions so I can present the right and good information to our Bowl TV viewers. Ashley Galante on a 5-bagger.
Oh, the carryover is done. No, Mandy also left that count. That's a nice string of strikes there for the whole foursome. So if you're Danielle now, Emil, you see a couple of 2 pins in front of you. Are you watching the other players on your pair? Do you make a move off that, or you just know you've got it dialed in and just do your thing?
I think I'd be dialed in, but smart players do tend to watch a little bit. But I think that more was the Chimi just missed that one a touch at the bottom, and it just kind of floated. I've seen that, not just from her, but just that type of hit. You see the ball roll and the way it goes, you can just kind of tell. And she was close to leaving a bucket there. And the Chimi is about at least a good 4, and probably maybe even 5 to 6 boards, it looked like, from our angle left, but she's a few boards left of Danielle. Danielle really looking to kind of use the gutter to her advantage, using it as a hook spot, as many players did earlier today.
Maybe a touch slow. No, that's flush. Wow, nice shot.
Only a matter of time before SG finds her way to the winner's circle, as Ashley Galante has worked her way into a 6-bagger over on 13 and 14. But Gongor finished second, and Lincoln to Jordan Richard.
Looking at all the scores in front of us, Emil, I see a whole lot of strikes on the boards. A whole bunch of them. Got a new game plan for the second block. Seems to be paying off for a lot of these ladies. But will hold up.
Thanks for joining us on Bowl TV, Shannon. I appreciate your support, not only of Bowl TV, but certainly of the PWBA Tour. Wow. What an interesting break. And what an interesting hit first, the lead. That ball came kind of diving in. Into the 1-3, speaking of Josie Barnes.
And here we go in game 2, second round of qualifying. PWBA Tucson Open here at Golden Pin Lanes. Danielle McEwen from Stony Point, New York on the front 9. Did not like it at all off her hand, but, well, looked okay from here. That was left all the way.
How about that?
We call that front 11. Danielle started this game at plus 183, 215, game 1 of this block. And she might just take the lead. Danielle McEwen, front 11 here, game 2 in Tucson. Golden Pin Lanes for perfection. Wow. I have no words to describe that one. She liked it. She liked it a lot. What, the 7 and 10? Pin's fault.
Yeah, that was absolutely. That was a good use for that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
That's our second 298 of the day. Verity Crawley shoot 298?
Yes, 298. Missy Parkin, 266. Ashley Galante, she's a strike away from 266. We didn't really even notice Jackie Evans, 265 on the same pair with Danielle.
Yeah, she was just kind of quietly striking.
Yeah, some big ball games right here. Sandy Charles, she is indeed from Japan. Nachimi Itakura?
Itakura.
It's close. Two games in the books here on this afternoon squad. 6 to go. Now here's where the game of bowling just doesn't seem fair sometimes. We saw Debbie Ayers last game where she had a split, gutter spare split, and managed to shoot 209. She starts this game, double, stays clean the entire game, is going to max out at 206. That's a lot of work. A lot of work for plus 15 in 2 games.
I agree.
She'll take it.
Moving on to game 3. Well, Sandy, you are correct. That was Nachimi. Correct, just mentioned that. It's probably always one note to kind of keep in mind. And for those of you also watching at home, especially with ABCD on the screens, for round 2, the players reverse their letters. So, for example, on 15 and on your pairing sheet, Jasmine Mason is listed above Kaylin Arthurs on 15 and 16. That is how they bowled this morning. Jasmine was A and Kaylin was B. For round number 2, they flip-flop. So as you see, Kaylin goes first and now Jasmine is letter B. Game 3 rolling on here at the 2019 PWBA Tucson Open. Emil Williams Jr. along with Craig Elliott of Fullstream TV. Craig will out visiting with us and helping fill some gaps here this week. We appreciate him. Thanks to Curtis Von Kruger and Terry Bigham, part of our communications crew this week. Jasmine Mason, Kaylin Arthurs, and Jennifer Russo on 15 and 16 if you're just joining us. Brooke Carroll, Christine Gill, Ashley Galante, and Brianna Cote on 17 and 18. We'll check the latest standings right now. And after that 298 game, Danielle McEwen, plus 281, your leader. Right behind her, Missy Parkin, and second at plus 261. Here comes Shannon O'Keefe third, along with Erin McCarthy. Tied for third at plus 229. Josie Barnes, fifth at plus 222. Kelly Kulick, who led for a few games in round one this morning. She is sixth at plus 218. Brianna Cote is seventh at plus 211. Caitlin Simpson is eighth at plus 206.
And that cut number dropped to plus 21. Miss Daria drops 2 pins with 6 to go.
Interesting number.
Which one?
The plus 21. Last year, or it's not last year. Last week, I think it was last week. All of a sudden, the cut number started to go up 10, 15 pins every other game. Away again on the fresh. Now, I think the real key, and we'll obviously see it play out, is as we get later in the block, you know, there'll still be pins out there, but they were not as plentiful as they were really when we saw the first few games this morning. If that holds true, then at what rate will the cut number continue to increase or decrease for that matter? I don't see it decreasing.
Well, after game one, it was -2. 9 games later, it's only plus 21. So that's really not a huge move. How about that top 7 he just went through? McEwen, Parkin, O'Keefe, McCarthy, Barnes, Kulick, Cote. That's pretty stout.
And the local favorite, Brianna Cote. That's a really good spare for Kaylin Arthurs. That is not easy. Christine Gill sends a couple of pins, one at both the 7 and another at the 10, and neither go down. Rousseau. Open frame there for Cote. Let's see some other players still striking around us here. Looks like Jackie Evans has moved over one pair to the right. 3-bagger. Open in the 4th and 3-bagger. Gigi has quickly become a fan favorite on the PWBA tour as well. Her personality very infectious. She's got a great smile, and so she's always being funny.
I didn't realize she was as old as she was. We were watching her on Bowl TV a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking, oh, isn't she still in high school? No, she's done with college. So,
yeah, it really does go by pretty quickly. I think what it is, Craig, honestly, is, you know, we see really good players from, especially when they start their youth careers, much earlier than we used to see youth players. And so, you know, with Junior Gold, for example, you know, with U12, U15, you see these faces so early that you know, like Wesley Lowe, for example, who just graduated from Wichita
Isn't
State.
he like 40?
But it seemed like he had been there for quite some time. And that just was not the case. But we got to know Wesley very early in his career, not just on the youth circuit, but, you know, making or cashing at PBA regionals and different things like that. So the young players are just better. So we see them earlier. I say I really like Kaylin Arthur's game. One of the players from Tucson.
We've also got Christine Gill here in front of us. You mentioned her earlier, having a pretty solid event so far. Well inside that cut number currently. Couple of strikes, couple of spares, and a split to start game 3.
Being local, Kaylin has got this crowd and really many of the fans, the volunteers supporting her, as well as Brianna Cote, just as an example.
She's got a little game. Pretty good fundamentals. Keeps everything in front of her. Just a little ring 10 action there in the 10th frame. Double fist pump from Ashley Galante.
Rick, what's today's date? June 8th, right?
June 7th.
Is it June 7th?
Yes, June
Thank you.
7th. June 7th, 2019. I did that without looking at my phone. First time in 2 years I've been able to do that. So
Now, why is that?
I just never know where I am and what day it is.
Well, yes.
So, first thing you do in the morning is look at the
silly
phone.
question on my part.
Right, what day is it? Where am I?
I say the same thing.
Jody Wessner's turn to string them. Front 7 off to our left.
Leads at 3-6-10. Jody looked like throwing some with a little shine on it. It's hard to tell from this angle.
A little shine and pretty firm for Jody too. I liked it. I'll just check a touch early.
Well, yes, a little lane shine as opposed to actual shine. Although there was an event this year. Let's see, we was Cleveland, then we went to Minneapolis. Was it Minnie?
Egan, Minnesota.
Yes, might have been Egan. Where no, maybe it was okay. Or Lincoln. Gosh darn it.
One of those.
Nonetheless, there was an event there where we were talking with the ball reps, and it was the first time, I want to say it was Egan, but the first time that they can recall really having to actually polish bowling balls.
Really?
Yeah. Because the pattern called for it. Arthur shoots 165. Mason shoots 171. 233 for Jen Russo. Just celebrated her birthday. A fellow Gemini is Jennifer Russo. I got a birthday coming up myself, and one of those years keep winding down, but I'm thankful for them.
Is it a milestone birthday?
No,
No, just
No.
just another year.
it's like a mini milestone. But the fact that you said milestone,
No.
that makes me think in 5 additional years that would be a milestone. Because I will be 35 in 13 days.
Wow. Sandy Charles with the right answer there. Every birthday's a milestone.
Hey, I like that.
Hey, Nick Hoagland. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. See what I'm saying? My man knew what I was talking about. You know why he knew what I was talking about?
He did it.
Because he did it. He created it.
You know, Nick has a pretty darn good gig. He gets to design these patterns and let the lane man put them out. He doesn't even have to be here to hear the players grumble about it. You got to figure it out, Nick. Galante still striking. 265 game 2. And just that 1-7 dash in the 4th frame with a bunch of strikes around it.
By the way, folks, if you haven't checked it out this morning on the PWBA Facebook page and Twitter, and a tough break there for Coach A here in the ninth frame. Speaking of Nick Hoagland, we posted a video of Nick when he was here checking things out and deciphering the pattern creation for Tucson, or for the Tucson Open, excuse me. But he told a nice story about Lynn Nicholson's discovery and solution, or remedy, if you will, about the championship pair lanes 15 and 16, and to tighten some kickbacks. He used actual rocks from a place he was living in and nearby, so very interesting story. The rocks are still there, so please check out the video if we get a chance. In between games, we have some time, we will play that video for you.
Galante a little bit high and pays the ultimate price, a big split. The 8 strikes and 2 splits. The 220, 226 possible for Ashley.
And as Nick mentioned, he was also a recent guest on the Out of Range podcast with Tony Franklin, Derek Hartnell, and Matt McFadden on the Backstage channel here on Bowl TV. So be sure to check out Nick and the crew again on Tony's Out of Range podcast. Excellent work. Really good listens. They've had some great episodes, and they're just now starting to hit that stride.
So how do we do that? How do we listen?
Well, you can click on or head over to bowl.com, bowltv.com, excuse me, first and foremost. Find the Backstage channel. And then on the Backstage channel, you will find various playlists. Of course, the Out of Range playlist or podcast has its own playlist. You can check out every episode that you may have missed. They're up to episode 7. And speaking of the Backstage channel, and speaking of Brianna Cote, very nice interview. Bowl TV Central podcast is up on the Backstage channel as well. Bree talks about her time and memories here at Golden Pin Lanes, certainly what it would be like to come away with a victory here this week in a place that is certainly home for Bree and her family. So be sure to check that out also on the Backstage channel. We got a lot of good content.
Yeah, I see that. I gotta admit, I hadn't looked at that before, but I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Well, A, I do appreciate that, but B, I do need you tomorrow. So,
well,
if you don't mind.
All right. A little bit of shut-eye.
Shot there for Cote, big double. Give him an opportunity to get to 190. So, yeah, the Backstage channel is, as the kids say, it's lit. It's lit. A lot of good stuff.
I like me some Tony Franklin, too.
Tony's an excellent dude. Quick story about Tony Franklin. Tony, I was working the Open Championships in 2010, and I had met him in our college bowling days. He was coaching at the time for West Texas A&M. And worked the event in 2010. I met him in Reno. I think we crossed paths, and I'm pretty sure we did. We had to, because next thing I know, once the tournament was over, he gave me a shout, and of course he runs the Bowling News newspaper with his wife Jeannie, and he asked me to be a writer for the paper, and I wrote for I think a good full year, just about, or at least from the time the OC ended at that moment to I went back to the Open Championships the next year. And so since that time, Tony has always been an excellent individual to me. Appreciate that opportunity early on, and I'm happy that he's able to provide some of his wit here on Bowl TV with us. It's funny how all those things work out.
It got quiet really fast. That means game 3 is over. Let's get ready for game 4 right here live on Bowl TV from Tucson.
Game 4 indeed. Coming up next, as Craig just mentioned, Sandy just dropping some knowledge in the chat for you all, so please be sure to share that. And speaking of Nick Hoagland, we got an opportunity to talk about Lenny's Rock Pile. You heard from us here, and well, let's talk about it. So here is Nick Hoagland from from Golden Pin Lanes, as he talks about the rock pile found on 15 and 16. Please do me a favor and enjoy.
Hi, this is Nick Hoagland, and I'm coming to you live today from Golden Pin Lanes in Tucson, Arizona, home of many, many men's professional tour events over the years, starting in the 1970s. Golden Pin, for its final professional event, will add the PWBA Tour coming in June. And we'll take you inside and show you a little bit more around this fantastic and nostalgic bowling center. So as I take you inside Golden Pin Lanes today, we're going to be focusing our attention on the historic TV pair, which is lanes 15 and 16. Again, it's hosted tournaments since the 1970s. Its last PBA tournament was in 2004. So as we walk down the lanes here at Golden Pin Lanes in Tucson, we're going to make our way down to lanes 15 and 16, which is the historic championship pair. Over the years, there's been quite a few memorable moments. Jess Stayrook making the 710. Walter Ray Williams Jr. striking out to win the title in 1993, and also the TV round finals of the Queens back in 1979 when the women's national tournament was here in Tucson at Golden Pin Lanes. So I'm going to focus your attention on the area between the kickbacks on lanes 15 and 16. So I'm sitting down here in front of the masking unit at lanes 15 and 16 at Golden Pin Lanes, and I'm going to show you something between the two kickbacks here that I've never seen anyplace else. So in 1979, the women's WIBC National Tournament bowled here at Golden Pin Lanes. And Len Nicholson, who works for Kegel now, was the lane man here at Golden Pin Lanes. They lived in Tucson. And every day, he would bring rocks from his house up in the hills and place them in between the kickbacks. And why, you would ask, why would he do that? It's because this pair, he knew, was really low scoring. And so he wanted to tighten up the kickback panels by making them more sturdy by placing rocks and boulders in between the kickbacks. And so I'm going to show you here in a second, there's literally rocks and stones between these two lanes that have been here for over 40 years. And you can see there are rocks all the way back in between the kickbacks. Have been here for over 40 years and have been a part of many PBA shows, and now will be a part of the PWBA Tour as Golden Pin Lanes closes. Hi, this is Nick Hoagland, and I'm coming to you live today from Golden Pin Lane.
Isn't that something? I mean, isn't that something? That is really, really unbelievable stuff. Big thanks to Nick for his efforts there. Nick is also an individual who his knowledge base of bowling and history and memories goes way back in time.
It's because he's much, much older than us. I think is the reason. He's been around the game a long time for sure. Chandra Anderson, Kelly Kulik, Summer Jasmine, and Jelimar Beasley to your left. Elise Bolton, Anastasia Hurley, Emily Bloomquist, and Liz Johnson to your right. A pair of Hall of Famers right here in front of us. I like Nick's Bobby Knight story. Have you heard that one yet, Emil?
Yes, I have.
That's a good one.
Yes, and truth be told, on the way to, I believe, Junior Gold in 2016, which was in Indianapolis, from DFW, Bobby Knight was on our flight.
It's a good thing they bolt those chairs down on the plane. Summer Jasmine, just a little high. And our updated scores through 11. 149 over on the afternoon. Danielle McEwen gets her to plus 317 for the event. Missy Parkin plus 289 in second. Kelly Kulik, Erin McCarthy, Shannon O'Keefe, your top five. Brianna Cote, Caitlin Simpson, Josie Barnes, Lily Robles, and Liz Culkin round out the top 10. We were at plus 21 for 32nd after game 10, and we are at plus 22 now. Liz Johnson, the current number in 32nd. Kelly takes care of that 10 pin like a Hall of Famer should. Anna Blomqvist getting a handful and leaves a 10 pin. She got after that one. Anna-Lee Blomqvist from Sweden is minus 195, but after shots like we just saw there, I'm not sure why. Powerful strike ball. Firm and direct, but apparently just hadn't quite found the comfort spot yet. Summer almost picks up that split off the sidewall. But unfortunately, almost doesn't help the scoreboard. Liz Johnson, the Hall of Famer, crosses over, trips out to 6'10".
Another player that you hear a lot of applause and support for this week is Shannon Pluhowski. Shannon originally from Phoenix, but I think many people may not know that fact about her.
I did not.
Because she is lived in Ohio now for what seems like an eternity. In fact, her dad, Nick, still lives in Phoenix.
Really?
I think maybe the majority of her family still might live in Phoenix. Her sister Tiffany's here. Her mom's here. Dad. Autumn is here. I saw her.
There are some fresh jerseys this second block here
I
this
told
afternoon,
you.
but I still like Kelly's is still my favorite. I've been watching. I did like Kaylin Arthur's though. Do you notice it's kind of a Minnie Mouse jersey?
Yes.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, oh,
very
yeah.
subtle, but very nicely done.
Yeah,
I like that one.
let's just say I purchased a lot of Minnie Mouse items in my day. So that one immediately stood out for me.
All right.
Purchased a lot of Minnie Mouse. Good thing I married that person I purchased them for over the years.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's four-bagger for Angela Marr. LJ. Oh. And some trouble for Liz Johnson. If you look at your screen right now, don't look at the results, but just look at the players. Kelly Kulick, Liz Johnson. And consider, obviously, both USBC Hall of Famers, what they have done for the sport as a whole, and certainly women's bowling, and what they are still doing. Incredible. On a tour that is getting younger by the day.
No doubt about that. So you're a little bowling historian, right? You've got some facts and knowledge. You talked about two Hall of Famers right there, Liz and Kelly. The most impactful female bowler of all time. Anybody come to mind? Anybody that changed the game for the ladies?
I think that's a little bit tough for me, only in the sense because I am still learning about a lot of our PWBA history. And I want to make sure that I'm able to properly express that history for many of the younger players, honestly. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out ways to make sure we incorporate some historical elements into kind of what we do. But so I don't want my answer to feel short-sighted.
No, I'm good with that.
If you will.
Well, I think it's easier for us all to just say Liz or Kelly because that's
right.
I mean, that's what most of us remember. But I'm with you. I don't have a lot of the older history of
I mean,
the women's game.
You could really say you really start with Marion Ladoway.
Yeah.
You could honestly start there. And the amount of U.S. Women's Open titles, I think it's 8. And Liz Johnson is second in that category with 6. Let's say Marion Ladoway. You can kind of go down the list of all time titleists and think about an Alita Sill type of player, or Patty Costello, who was one of the first players to, actually the first player to win like 7 titles in a season. Of course, CDB repeated that feat in 2001. The Donna Adamix of the world. If Fran Deacon is watching, I'm sure she would have a fantastic answer.
Yeah.
To that. If you want to think about quote-unquote modern game, certainly Leanne Olsenberg would do that for you, I think. She talked a little bit about that in her Hall of Fame speech. How a lot of people give her credit for that, for the Mark Roth effect, as he did on
Sure.
the PBA. Leanne kind of had that effect on the PWBA
Yeah,
tour.
no question. No question. Yeah, I need to work on my history of the women's game. I spent a lot of time with the men's tour and the senior tour, and so the Hall of Famers and stuff like that. But the women's game is ever changing and getting better by the week. Seeing these international players come over and have an impact, significant impact. When will the first two-hander on the women's tour win a title?
It's an interesting question.
In the next 5 years?
Well, I'd like to say yes to that, but I'm hesitant because I haven't seen any, or many, I should say. Before it was, I haven't seen any, two-handed women, but I have seen a couple.
They're out there.
I've seen a couple. A lot of them are young, and you could probably believe that, certainly. I've seen a couple at Junior Gold, actually, last year. And I saw 2 or 3 at the Collegiate Shootout and the Glenn Carlson Invitational in last December in Las Vegas. They bowled for San Jose State. And they were just kind of learning and started to kind of trying to hone in on the technique. But I do think it would happen. That's what gets me so excited, Craig, when you think about some of these questions that you're talking about and looking ahead, if you will, to when that moment might come. And it's like, wow, it's here because they have a place to play. Maybe it'd be a good question for the chat in regards to your first question of maybe most impactful bowler for women's bowling. That might be, and I'm curious, some of the player or our viewers in the chat. And it could be different for everybody because everyone is affected differently.
It's very subjective, no question. What do we think of as impactful, game-changing?
Another double there from way down yonder on Verity Crawley, but Valerie Bercier has the front 7 on 11 and 12. They're starting to give Liz just a touch of trouble, and she made a move there. Still left a 4-pin. Derek says Lisa Wagner, Wendy McPherson. You cannot go wrong with either of those those names. Of course, Lisa, the all-time leader in PWBA titles with 32.
Wow.
Mercier with the front eights.
I do remember one of the most impressive feats I've seen from a female bowler. Last year at the Lucy, in the championship match, Liz Johnson was throwing one ball pretty much right up the 1-2 board on one lane and hooking the whole lane on the other with a totally different ball. And she did it right in the middle of the game. That's pretty impressive. That's knowing your equipment, making big moves. But players at this level, that's what they need to do, and they can.
You know, people think Liz Johnson is not versatile. But just that description is all you need to know.
Well, you know, give it to technology, right? I mean, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we never saw qualifying. So we didn't see when those players moved right to left and around and lofted. We didn't see that before. Now, with all of the streaming technology, we see every single game of the event, not just the TV shows. Not just, you know, turn on, put out a nice fresh pattern for the step ladder final and put it on TV. We see everything now. And that's where you really see the versatility of these players and what they can do. I mean, Eugene McCune has always been known as just the fireball. Throw it right up the gut. No, he can get in and hook the entire lane. And he's really good at it, but you just don't see it that often. You know, when he was at the peak of his career, because this technology wasn't available.
Really good topic of discussion there, Craig.
There's way more where that came from. These are the things I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about.
Well, those are conversations that are important.
Yes.
Especially as we, you know, this is year 5 of the relaunch. So it's moving right along. And so, you know, obviously history continuing to be written on a daily basis. And, you know, we get a chance to bring that to you here on Bowl TV, but, you know, 12 years was a long time. And I think a lot of folks forgot about women bowling, and so we want to make sure that that never happens again and refresh the minds of those at the same time.
Well, the obvious question there is how many titles would Liz or Kelly have if there was a tour
Sure.
for those whole 12 years?
100%.
30, 40, 50?
100%.
But we'll never know.
100%. Front 9, by the way, for Valerie Bercier. Was Verity Crawley's 298?
It was on 13 and 14.
Okay.
And we will take a live look in on Valerie Bercier as she gets up in her 10th frame here shortly. Right here from our feature pair. We have technology to do that, and we will. Yeah, all our big games have been right here. Emil, the 298, a pair of 298s, one on 13 and 14, one on 15 and 16. Of course, Brianna Cote's 289 was on 15 and 16. And Valerie coming up on the left side of your screen on the front 9. Heekin with the spare. Bercier now looking for the front 11. Spring Lake, Michigan. Of course, Valerie already has a 299 this season on the PWBA Tour. And there is the front 11. Pair of 298 so far today. But no 300s. Could it be right here, right now? Valerie Bercier, this is your chance. Front 11. Here in game number 12 of the event. And where is she in the standings? I'll let you know here shortly. Plus 115 and 22nd coming into this game, so she's going to make a big jump, maybe even sneak into the top 10. Front 11 looking for 12 from Spring Lake, Michigan, Valerie Bercier. Step back, take a little time, cleaning off the ball one more time with her towel. Here she goes. She's staring it down. She likes it. And there it is. 300. And a big old smile. Congratulations. Might just sneak her right up into the top 10. But wait and see. And the crowd goes wild. Liz Johnson punched out the 10th 209. Kelly Kulick finishes 204. Elise Bolton has 214 left out there. A little 200s. But only one 300 so far. Valerie Bercier. Nicely done. So I'll take a break here. Get ready for game number 5 or 13 of the event. Live from Golden Pin Lanes here, the PWBA Tucson Open. Right here on Bowl TV. I'm Craig Ellett along with Emil Williams Jr. And we'll be back with the back half of this second round here shortly from Tucson. Valerie did indeed jump into the top 10 with that 300 game. She is in 9th now at plus 215. Our leader still Danielle McEwen, plus 340, Missy Parkin. Doing all she can to run her down at plus 301 in second. Shannon O'Keefe, Erin McCarthy. Kelly Kulik, Brianna Cote, Caitlin Simpson, Josie Barnes. And there's Valerie in 9th. Julia Bond is in 10th. Looks like the big block so far this afternoon is 972 for Danielle McEwen, and that's why she's in the lead. Cut was plus 22. It is now plus 27. Nachimi Ichikura from Japan. 4 pins behind Daria Payunk and Liz Johnson for that 32nd position. Annalie Blomqvist, 778. Oh, so that's through 4. I was thinking through 3. She's still down in 62nd. Into game 5. Lily Robles, Maria Jose Rodriguez, Shauna Strauss, Julia Bond to your left, Lindsay Boomershine, Dasha Kavalova, who got to hang her banner between squads for winning the Queens tournament, Sydney Brummett and Haley Richard. There's a big strike from Dasha. Maria Jose Rodriguez, lane 16. That ball's got a hook. How about that? It did. So sure about that one at about the 45-foot mark. Somebody was supposed to keep us updated in the chat on the score of the basketball game. What's going on out there? Somebody's slacking. Billy going to roll that too? No. So you can see 11 through 14 on the bonus coverage there. Just click on the other tab, and we bring in that other pair when there's a big game, but you can see it. The whole game's there. 11 through 14, 19 through 22, 23 through 26, and 27 through 30. 10 pairs of coverage. See half the field every game. Kind of hard to get better coverage than that.